What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers desperately need to go on some type of run, right? Currently, the Lakers sit 2.5 games out of a play-in spot for the 10th seed. They sit only 4 games, which is a lot, but yeah, they sit 4 games out of the 7th seed and 4.5 games out of the 6th seed. But it's not too late. You go on a nice little run. The Lakers, in my opinion, have a very winnable schedule going forward, one that they could easily rattle off, several wins in a row. You got the Pelicans, the Warriors, the Mavericks, and the Grizzlies, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Warriors, before you play the Grizzlies again. I think pretty much all of those are winnable. Dallas is still trying to figure it out. Warriors aren't going to have Steph Curry. Pelicans are missing like half their team. Thunder, I think, is a winnable game. Grizzlies, we've already beaten once. And I'm not really too sold on the Grizzlies personally. I think that that's a winnable game. Timberwolves, I think, is a team that you can beat again. And then the Warriors, very likely you're going to play again without Steph. So although it is hard to beat any team, 4 times or 3 out of 4 times, but still, I think that those are all very winnable games. And the beauty is LeBron James will be back tonight, at least from the information we have at the time of recording this video. LeBron James is supposed to return, and we will finally have the full force of our roster, which would be beautiful, unless, they sit Anthony Davis or something, which I hope not. The Lakers really cannot afford to be sitting guys. We need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to play the rest of these, 24 games that we have left. We play the Pelicans tonight, and then we have a nice little rest, especially Anthony Davis, right? LeBron, he's going to play in the All-Star game, but the All-Star game isn't what it once was, right? It's not this elite competitive game where guys are killing each other for a chance to win, right? It's more just show. It's just fun little here you go. The last 2 minutes, teams locked down, but it's not even like a full lockdown. It's just, it gets a little more competitive. But in general, after beyond the All-Star game, the Lakers don't have another game until Thursday, February 23rd. So they have one game in the next 9 days. Anthony Davis isn't an All-Star, although I think there's an argument to be made that Anthony Davis should have made the All-Star game. But nonetheless, it's good. It's probably the best case scenario for Anthony Davis, that he gets to get essentially 9 days rest after tonight's game. LeBron James will essentially get the same thing. He will be playing the All-Star game, but again, it's not the competitive game that it once was. So Lakers, they need to rattle off this win, and then you go and face the Warriors, which I do believe we can beat again. And we have Anthony Davis, we have LeBron James, we have this new look Lakers that adds a lot of promise and a lot of excitement. We're also getting Mo Bamba back. That is really big, in my opinion, literally and figuratively, right? Another sizable 7-footer that you could play next to Anthony Davis. You could play behind Anthony Davis. I imagine he'll play behind Anthony Davis, but it gives us some more size, gives us some more shot blocking, gives us some more defense, give us a big that stretches the floor, can knock down the 3 ball, shooting 40%. That's huge, right? This is a guy that adds some toughness, that I really think can have an impact on this team. Now, he's not a guy that takes us from, a play-in team to now we're a contender, but I do think he's a guy that you add him to the rest of the pieces, and you add in LeBron James, and you add this healthy roster, I really think we could win some games. Seriously. I think it is not out of the realm of possibility for us to go 18-6 the rest of the way, which we're really going to have to, right? We're right now, we're at 26-32. We're going to need to get to around probably 42, 43 wins this year, at least. Ideally, if you could win more, win more. But I think realistically, I think we can win somewhere in the ballpark of 20 or 18 to, hopefully 20 more games. If you look at the schedule, right, there are at least, when you're going through it, 18 games that the Lakers should win that are like, you look at and you go, okay, those are very winnable games. And to put it in perspective, right, the Clippers were the 9th seed at 42-40, right? The 7th seed Timberwolves were 46-36. Now, here's the thing. Pelicans ended up jumping over. They were 36-46. There will be a team or two that makes the play in at least that aren't at 500. It's just how it's going to go. But I don't think you need to win 46 games this year to get to the play in. I just don't. It is a lot tighter this year than it was last year. So I do think the Lakers have a real opportunity to where if they can get to like 40 wins, I think that they could actually be, the 8th seed. And then you only have to win one game at that point. But again, it's one of those things where you can't risk it, right? You need to win as many games as possible. We're finally going to be fully healthy, finally going to have everybody playing. Darvin Ham, I'm not really big on the lineup that he wants to run. But regardless, we need some stability, right? We need just some stableness in the rotation. So, okay, fine. If that's the lineup you want to go with, stick with it. We're like, I believe we lead the league, or we're like second in the league in like different starting fives, something crazy like that. Like, that's not good, right? You need some cohesiveness. Now, obviously, this is a brand new team, so there's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some ups and downs. But you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you have a much more talented roster than you ever did. You got guys now that are upgrades in every way. You solved essentially all of your issues: 3-point shooting, playmaking on the guard position, scoring of the guard position, sizable wings and Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, a backup defensive big. Got that. They solved every single issue that they have. Now it's just putting it all together. Playing some solid defense, putting the ball in the hoop, gelling as a team, building some chemistry, all of those things. I really still believe that the Lakers can get into the playoffs. If they get into the playoffs, hopefully they're not exhausted, with this uphill climb, which is a real possibility. They could very well wear themselves out between now and then. But if they are healthy and they are, energized and they make the playoffs, watch out. Because there is not a team in the Western Conference that I look at and go, man, there is no way the Lakers can beat them. I felt that way before this trade. I am even more confident now. Because you got guys that have been there and done that, that are still very young. You got guys that have been in playoff spots, playoff fights. You have LeBron James and Anthony Davis that have won championships. You have them as your two superstars. They're still the only team in the league that have 2 top 10 guys, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Are there teams that are going to be tough? Absolutely. Are there teams that can beat us? Absolutely. But I trust LeBron James and Anthony Davis with this roster of depth, shooting, size, defense, everything to be able to compete and beat most teams, if not all of them. You still look at teams like, like the Suns. The Suns are going to be tough. They got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. But who guards and stops LeBron James? Who guards and stops Anthony Davis, right? Again, those are your mismatches, right? And then you have the depth, you have the talent. They're lacking depth. Defensively, they're not going to be very good. So if you can just get a couple more stops than they can, you probably win that series. Clippers are always deep, have our number. So they're probably my most concern just because they match up really well. They solved a lot of their issues too. But also primarily they just have had our number the last 3 years for whatever reason. There's always that team. But if we make it to the second round or past the second round, we might not even have to worry about them based on history, right? So look, Dallas was just in the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't think many teams got much better Obviously, again, the Suns, you get Kevin Durant, you're better. But again, I just think that they still lack a lot. I think the Kevin Durant trade was more so for like the foreseeable future rather than just this season. I think it gives them a real chance this season, but I think it was more of like, let's get Kevin Durant now, and then in the offseason we can figure out and put whatever pieces we need, which you can also make an argument that that's kind of what the Lakers did, right? Let's go get these players now. Hopefully we can build some chemistry. If we can go on a run, give ourselves a chance, great. But if not, we have this entire season, we have entire offseason, entire training camp, and an entire preseason. Figure it out, get it together, and then try to contend for some championships. We're young, we're hungry, we got talent, we got size, we got everything you need. We have a real opportunity. There just seems to be this freshness, this new life to this team, right? Like it just does. When we see it, when we're playing, the first game we played together just looked beautiful. Obviously, we got smacked by the Blazers, but I think that was more so like a team just was insanely hot, and we just saw them get smacked last night when they shot just normal, right? I mean, Thibault is not a 4 of 6 3-point shooter, and he showed that the night before. Teams just get hot. Teams have moments like that. It just sucks that, one, it was us, and two, it was a team that's in front of us that we're trying to catch, right? Like if it was like a Chicago Bulls team or something that just got hot, yeah, it sucks. It hurts. We can't really afford to lose, but at least it's not a team in front of us, right? But the fact that look at this. It's insane. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be the starting five because we heard Darvin Ham wants to start Dennis Schroeder, D'Lo, very likely Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. But I definitely expect to see these five on the court, and I cannot wait. I mean, D'Lo, Beasley, next to LeBron, you got the shooting you need, elite shooting, high volume guys that can knock it down, guys that can play make, guys that can operate in the mid-range, guys that can score, next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, which opens the floor for both of them. Jared Vanderbilt being a defensive monster, glue guy, do everything. You're going to have defense, you're going to have shooting, you're going to have offense. D'Lo's actually been very good defensively, which has been surprising. Beasley, he's a solid defender. I think you look at this. Look at this, Rod. This is just so much nicer, so good compared to what we had prior. Seriously, like, I look at this and I go, man, like, this is a starting five. This is a lineup that I'll put with any team in the league, right? I mean, seriously. I love this lineup. I love and cannot wait to see these guys thrive. And I think D'Lo is just going to have such a huge impact as the third guy next to LeBron and AD. We've seen a lot of what he can do, and even some of that, like, just scoring down the stretch we got in the Warriors game, right? When things were kind of looking like the Warriors could turn it around. You had Jordan Poole kind of get hot, and it's like, oh, man, here we go. And then you just saw D'Lo very calmly hit a couple shots, go on a 5-point run by himself. And it was like, okay, good. There we go. That's why we got you. There you go. That's what it is, right? We've seen D'Lo be able to just, shoot off the dribble, operate in the mid-range, set up other guys, make some nice passes, knock down a step back. Like, all of those, like, that's perfect. The mid-range is going to be huge, especially come playoff time if we can get in the playoffs. We've seen Beasley be able to knock it down in the mid-range and just go get his own shot. It's nice to have guards that can just go get a bucket, but naturally. Not have to, like, force it and drive into the paint and, shoot over 5 guys, right? It's nice to be able to see D'Lo operate and just go put the ball in the hoop. It's nice to be able to see Beasley able to operate and just go put the ball in the hoop, right? Without having to be set up, without having to, fight over several guys, right? It's just nice to be able to see Beasley give you a quick pump fake, take 2 steps in, and boom, splash. D'Lo, methodically operate, boom, step in and splash. It's nice to be able to see us run an offense in the half court. We were terrible in the half court. And now it's like, okay, like we actually have a half court offense. Like this is great. We solved all of our needs. We got sizable wings in Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt. Rui Hachimura, his midi is just absolute butter. I love it. I really want them to run some plays and some sets for him, get him some good looks. I really think he can knock it down. I mean, you can make an argument for like several guys. Like you can make an argument, run plays for D'Lo, run plays for Beasley, run plays for LeBron, AD, run plays for Rui Hachimura, right? Austin Reeves can even knock it down and create his own shot. Like we didn't have this before, and it's just so nice, so refreshing, so exciting. It breathes new life into Lakers Nation. It breathes new life into us as fans, and this season it kind of gives us that hope. And maybe it's a false hope. We'll see as it goes. But even if this year, let's say worst case scenario, let's say we're not able to go on a run, say, because you still got to figure out the chemistry, you still got to figure out the lineups, you still got to have AD and LeBron healthy and playing every game, which could be easier said than done, but still, these guys, even if we don't make the playoffs this year, or say we make the play-in, but we make it as like the 10th seed, and so you got to win 2 straight games, and we just saw with Portland, a team can get hot, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's say that happens. Unfortunately, that's the issue with the play-in, right? If you're the 9th or 10th seed, you have to win 2 straight games. If you lose even just one of them, that's it. You're done. So let's say that's worst case scenario. You still have so much promise going forward. You got a roster that makes sense. You got a roster that just looks really good, that fits, that gives you a little bit of everything. Now we can go and we can work on everything we need to do. Maybe if you need to make a tweak or two, go make a tweak or two, whatever. But it's just, I really like the position we're in. I think it's really good. But we have to start rattling off some wins. I still believe we can make the play-in. I still believe we can make the playoffs. And like I said, if we make the playoffs, good luck. Good luck. If we're healthy and we're in the playoffs, good luck. I will take this team in a 7-game series. I will trust LeBron James. I still believe if we make the Western Conference Finals, we win the championship. Because I really believe LeBron James is going to look at it and go, I need to win 8 games. 8. I can win 8 games. I might never be in this position ever again. Let me go do this. Let's turn back the clock a little bit. This is what I spend millions of dollars on my body on. This is why I'm here. Let's do this. And, I could see Anthony Davis waking up. Hopefully this just breathes new life. But we're going to get to see the first time tonight. We're going to get to see this team full-fledged, full force. What are they capable of? How does LeBron look next to these guys? And I'm really excited. This is something very exciting. Something definitely worth looking forward to. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of the new look Lakers? Are you excited to see LeBron finally being inserted into this roster, into this team? Are you excited for Mo Bamba? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.